Hi, my name is Michael Snyder, and I thank you for watching this video. Today, I'm going to talk about the real New Year. When does the New Year really begin? Because, of course, as I record this, we're getting ready for New Year's Day, and I hope that you have been able to enjoy some time with your family, that you've been able to rest and relax the past several weeks. Because right now we're in a lull, and you may say, Michael, so much is going on in the world, things are going crazy, and it's true. There are a lot of things happening, a lot of things going on, but over the last several years, we've seen so many things happen, so many prophetic events being fulfilled, so many things moving in the direction that we have been anticipating and waiting for. And a lot of things are happening now, so I don't want to downplay that. I write about it all the time. But compared to maybe the height of the COVID crisis and the lockdowns and some of the other things that have happened, and then we saw war erupt with Russia and the Middle East, and those wars are still going on, and they're going to intensify. But, you know, we saw some really, really intense things happen over the past few years, and then looking forward into the new year, we're soon going to get to a point where things are going to get really serious, guys, really serious. And events are going to get really chaotic and really move very rapidly as we move into the second half of 2024 and the election and the wars intensifying so much, and even the middle of 2024. But right now, if you've been waiting for a lull, a chance to catch your breath, a chance to rest and relax, this is it. This is what we're going to get. So take advantage of the now. Take advantage of this right now while you can, because things are. I expect the lull to kind of continue as we enter the new year, but then at some point in 2024 and moving beyond, I think things will be clear by the end of this video. Things are really going to intensify. And so let's talk about the new year. New Year's Day, January 1st, right? No. Well, according to the world calendar, the calendar that we all use on a daily basis, well, yeah, New Year's Day is January 1st. But what about God? Does God have anything to say on the matter? Yes, he actually does. First of all, January 1st, according to God, it's not even a day. Okay, it's part of 2 days, because according to God, a day begins at sundown. From Genesis chapter 1 all through the rest of the scriptures, the day begins when the sun goes down. So January 1st is actually what we consider to be January 1st is parts of 2 days smashed together. So that's the first thing that we need to realize, is that our definition of a day is off. But in terms of what time of the year a new year should begin, and of course, New Year's Day, was originally chosen by the pagans, and that's when they set up their pagan calendar of the year, and the calendar used in the Roman Empire and so forth. Well, January 1st, the beginning of the year, the new year. So it was actually adopted by pagan leaders and instituted by paganism. And now, of course, there's other, you got the Chinese New Year. They celebrate the New Year at a different time. There's other New Years around the world, right? But then you've got the Jewish New Year, Rosh Hashanah. Surely they must have it correct, right? Because they're actually, celebrating an ancient tradition. And they celebrate it on the Feast of Trumpets, which is actually a very important biblical holiday. So that must be correct, right? Well, actually, no. Now, the Feast of Trumpets, which is celebrated on the first day of the 7th month, is very important. And it has extreme prophetic significance, as I've written about. But is it the new year? No. Actually, this whole thing with Rosh Hashanah and the new year actually began during and after the Babylonian captivity. The Babylonians celebrated the new year in the fall at that time of the year. And so the Jewish people said, hey, we're going to celebrate our new year at the same time. But the Bible doesn't actually say that's the new year. So what does the Bible say? Well, turn with me very quickly. I want to read to you a couple of verses. It's Exodus chapter 12. And it's in this chapter, the Passover is instituted. It's in the spring. And let me read you verse 1 and verse 2. Now the Lord spoke to Moses and Aaron in the land of Egypt, saying, this month shall be the beginning of months to you. It shall be the first month of the year to you. And then it goes on to this, and the Lord institutes Passover and explain, because Passover is about to happen. So he's saying, hey, okay, this is the first month. The first month of the year is in the spring. In the spring. That might surprise a lot of you, but it's in the spring. And he's saying, okay, this is the first month, this is the first day, and now on the 10th day of the month you do certain things, and the 14th, and he instituted what they're supposed to do with the Passover and all of that moving forward. But God said, hey, this is the first month of the year. It's in the spring. And it's interesting, if you go back and you read the book of Enoch, which many believe was written before the flood of Noah, I believe was written before the flood of Noah, the year began in the spring. And that's why God had revealed to Enoch before the flood. And it's the same thing after the flood. The Passover is instituted, and God said, "Hey, this is the first month of the year for you." According to the Bible and the calendar we have in the Bible, and then from that point forward, all throughout the rest of the Bible, we see where it talks about such and such happened in the first month, or the 5th month, or the 6th month, or the 7th month, or whatever, but it's all based on the first month of the year being in the spring. And so that is when, according to God, when the year begins. And so now we're looking forward to this new year. And very interestingly, and if you've already read my new book entitled Chaos, you already know that the new year, according to God's calendar, begins in 2024 on April 8th, 2024. And why that is significant this year is because that's the date of the Great American Eclipse. That's the date that the Great American Eclipse completes the Aleph over America. That's the date when the Great American Eclipse completes the Tav all over America. So we have the Aleph, the Tav, which Jesus said, I am the Aleph and the Tav in the book of Revelation. So that happens on April 8th, 2024. The new year, according on God's calendar, and that Tav makes an X right over the New Madrid fault zone, which I think is rather ominous. I'm not expecting an earthquake or any particular event on that day, but I think it's very ominous that the heart of that X falls right in the New Madrid fault zone, and I talk about that in the new book as well. So that's coming up in this new year, and it just so happens that this whole thing with the eclipses falling on New Year's Day, on the new year, as the new year begins over America, well, that comes as the same year that we're going to have the most chaotic election season in all U.S. history, 2024. That comes as we've got this war in the Middle East, which I believe is going to greatly escalate in 2024. That comes as we've got war with Russia in 2024. That comes as China is talking about invading Taiwan, hopefully not in 2024, but they're talking about it soon, and it's coming to a crisis point. It's coming as, we've got the greatest food crisis in modern history, according to CNN. And right now, and it's going to get even worse in 2024. And there's going to be natural disasters, and we've got so many pestilences raging right now. And I believe there's going to be more, and all these things, economic problems, which are going to get worse in 2024. So this year, I believe 2024, but in particular, the year that begins, the biblical year that begins in 2024, is going to be so significant, so chaotic. And that's one of the reasons why I named my book Chaos, because that is what's coming to our planet. That is what's coming to our world.
Okay, guys, here we go. Apophis. We're gonna get right to it. This is just a very basic orbit diagram of Apophis. 99942 is its official number. Apophis is around a quarter-mile wide. Pretty good sized asteroid, right? Over 1,200 feet, almost 1,300 feet wide. And supposedly, this is going to, well, it is. I've already looked at the JPL orbit diagram of Apophis, and it's right here. Here it is. This thing's going to come eerily close to Earth for a NEO, an Aten NEO of that size. But here's the thing. There's a number. If you want to look it up at the NASA JPL, you type in 99942, and it'll bring up the orbit diagram. Or you can click on. It'll bring up a set of metrics data about the asteroid, and you can also click on the orbit diagram, orbit viewer, and here you go. And this is where Apophis is going to be on April 13th, 2029. Okay, so we've still got about 5 years, 4.5 years before this thing. It's going to be right there. See on my screen? That's where it's going to be as it's coming towards the Earth on April 13th of 2029. Right there. See it? But here's what people aren't talking about. It's getting all kinds of talk about the god of chaos, and a NASA spacecraft craft recently returned from a mission to asteroid Bennu, and it's been relaunched to study another asteroid, Apophis, that's due to make close approach to the Earth on April 13th of 2029, coming within 20,000 miles, actually just a little less. Here's the thing, guys, with this type of asteroid, it's big enough to where, yes, Earth's gravity is going to influence the orbit of this thing. They're going to feel each other. Absolutely 100%. But what's not being talked about is, okay, here's one thing that we can do. And I've been following this since I've followed this. I've used this website for probably 20 years, spaceweather.com. And I've learned a lot from this website. I really have. I've followed I'm at the near Earth asteroid list that he updates every day over here. 2,349 as of December 29th. And I can remember when this was 200. 200. Now they've identified 2,349 potentially hazardous near-Earth objects. Thomas Lindley, welcome to the star family, Thomas. Thank you, man. But one thing that's not being talked about Apophis, and it'll be on this list. It is on the list. It's just not close enough to close approach. These things don't travel alone, man. This asteroid is part of a family. Okay, so if this thing's coming in, and this is its orbit diagram over here, you see on this little banner I made. Okay, that's the Earth and asteroids orbiting the Earth, some zipping around. That's Apophis coming in. It's going to disturb potentially some asteroids that are already orbiting the Earth, but it's not going to be traveling alone. There's no way. This thing's too big. It's 1/4 mile wide. So here's the thing. I'm not saying that Apophis is going to collide with Earth. Or in fact, they're saying that it's not going to, and I agree. It shouldn't, but I haven't seen it. I can only track it using this. This is as close as I can get. And according to this is the day that it's supposed to come close to the Earth. According to this, let's just go full screen. There we go. Okay, here it is. Should go right around the Earth. All right, let me see if I can step this forward, which I'm sure I can. There we go. There. It's supposed to safely pass the Earth. That's the 15th, 16th, 17th, and then away it goes. I know it's difficult to see, but that's the best we can do. Right there's Apophis, there's the Earth. April of 2029. It should not collide with the Earth, but coming that close, it's not going to be alone. And no way. I've seen it too many times over the years. I've watched this list here grow to over 2,000 when it was 200. And I've learned something along the way. When these big asteroids come close to the Earth, and I'm talking, 20 LD and or 10 LD, 11 LD, that's considered close. We always 9 out of 10 times, because I can't say every time because I haven't watched every one that close. I wouldn't be being honest with you. But most of the time that I've watched very closely, when a large asteroid, especially one this big, comes this close to the Earth, there's an increase in meteors that do enter the atmosphere. So let's say that this one here, this Apophis is, well, obviously it's nearly a quarter of a mile wide. That's huge. Okay, let's say it's got a family of 50, and they can't see them. They're too focused on Apophis, and these asteroids are traveling with it. Some of them are going to get drawn in. If the Earth's gravity is going to affect this asteroid, which it will, and it's going to alter its orbit. So the next time it comes around the Earth's orbit in the Earth's neck of the woods in the cosmic or in the solar system, it's going to change its path to where someday, I don't know when, someday the gravity alteration is going to probably bring it right towards the Earth. Is it going to happen anytime soon? Probably not, but it could. But it's what's traveling with it. That's what people aren't talking about, and that's what we're not being told. This thing isn't traveling alone. It has a family. It probably has a big family. And it could have all kinds of kinfolk that are 10 feet wide, 20 feet wide, 100 feet wide, 300 feet wide, 400 feet wide. And some of those traveling with this big asteroid could get pulled into the atmosphere. I've seen it so many times over the years by simply by simply following this list. When I see big ones coming in, and here's the diameter size over here, the far right hand column, 230 meters. That would be somewhere in the neighborhood of 700 feet. And that's not a super close approach. The close approach is this column right here, 15.2 LD being lunar distance. So that's 15 times the distance between the Earth and the Moon. That's how far it's going to be away from the Earth. So not super close, right? But you take one that's 230 meters in diameter and you bring it 1 LD away from the Earth, just one, you'll see an increase in fireballs, meteors coming into the atmosphere because they don't travel alone. They travel in packs. They travel in packs. So that's what we're not being told. That's what's not being talked about. This asteroid, I'm 99.9% sure, has a family. There's a family of asteroids traveling with him. He's just the leader of the pack because he's the biggest, and that's who they're watching is Apophis because it's the biggest and potentially the most dangerous. It's not going to collide with the Earth according to the calculations, and they're very confident that it's not going to collide with the Earth. But that doesn't mean it couldn't, like I said, have family members that could be anywhere from a foot wide to 10 feet wide to 300 feet wide. Who knows? But you can rest assured it's not traveling alone. Oh no, it's got friends and it's got family. And yeah, it's not traveling alone. So anyway, that's the story on Apophis. And that's the thing that nobody's really talking about. I've seen it for 15 years. That's how long, actually longer than that. I've seen these things come close to the Earth, and next thing you know, there's an increase in fireballs in the skies above the Earth. A quick update on the ancient time traveler and the solar eclipse. We are now 100 days away from April 8th of 2024, when we'll be experiencing over here in North America the total solar eclipse that's going to be joined by this guy right here, 12P Pons Brooks comet coming into the solar system right now as I do this video. There's the location of the comet. In fact, I have a photo right here of the comet. And this is a recent photo by Odd Trondal out of Oslo, Norway. It's from December, and this is during one of its outbreaks. And what astronomers are noticing, they're starting to notice a pattern. This is the comet that's going to join us during the solar eclipse. right here, April 8th. He's coming to town. He's going to be in the daytime sky and might be throwing a fit. We'll have to wait and see. But what they're noticing right now, they're noticing the pattern with regard to throwing a fit. This thing has ice volcanoes on it. And when it does throw a fit, it puts off these jets. And these jets apparently come off of both sides, giving this thing the appearance of having horns or wings or something like that. That's going to join us for the total eclipse in April of 2024. So the daytime sky could be joined, or actually it will be joined. It's just a matter of how bright it's going to be. It could look something like this. It could look something like that next to the solar eclipse. Are you serious right now? Can't make this stuff up. Right there. There you go. That. Possibly two jets coming off the side of that thing. Volcanic jets. What? Yeah, right there. April 8th, 2024. Be there. Here's where we're going to be on April 8th, 2024. Somewhere in the path of totality. The path you see on this map right here, this is the path of 100% totality during the solar eclipse. You'll have the best seat on Earth right here. Waco, Texas, Fort Worth, Dallas. You guys are going to have the best seat on Earth. You're going to see 100% of the eclipse if it's not cloudy. Even if it's a little bit cloudy, you'll still